What if I told you that you can burn fat faster than fasting without ever feeling hungry or deprived? Most people think fat loss is all about eating less, but science tells a different story. It's not just what you eat that matters, it's when and how you eat. Recent research shows that your metabolism isn't a simple on or off switch. It's more like a rhythm. And when that rhythm gets out of sync through constant grazing, skipped meals, or unbalanced macros, your body starts storing energy instead of using it. But when you align your eating pattern with your body's natural fuel cycles, especially by balancing protein intake, meal timing, and blood sugar stability, you can activate a powerful fat burning mode that runs 66% faster than traditional fasting. And the best part, you don't experience the fatigue, brain fog, or irritability that usually comes with restrictive diets. In this video, we're going to explore a science-backed approach that helps your body tap into its fat stores naturally, without hunger or crashes. You'll learn how your metabolism works like a smart engine that can be trained to burn cleaner, longer, and more efficiently. We'll unpack what happens in your cells when you go too long without eating, why some people feel anxious or sluggish during fasting, and how small adjustments in meal timing and protein balance can completely shift your results. By the end, you'll see how this isn't about restriction, it's about rhythm, awareness, and giving your body the right signals. So let's look at the science of how to eat in sync with your biology, not against it. Have you ever tried fasting before? Did it help or hurt your energy? Share your experience in the comments below. Traditional fasting promises rapid results. But what most people don't realize is that it often backfires at the biological level. When you go for long stretches without eating, your body doesn't interpret that as, yay, fat loss. It interprets it as stress. Deep inside your nervous system, your brain begins scanning for danger. It notices the drop in blood sugar, the absence of incoming energy, and it responds by flipping on a built-in survival mechanism, the stress response. When this happens, cortisol, your primary stress hormone, rises. Cortisol's job is to help you stay alert and energized when you're in danger, but when it stays elevated for too long, it starts working against you. It tells your body to conserve fuel, slow down your metabolism, and hold on to stored fat just in case. That's why people who start fasting often notice that they feel wired but tired. Their body is running on adrenaline for a while, but as soon as that spike fades, they crash hard. This cortisol-driven state can make you feel anxious, irritable, and even shaky. It's your body's way of saying, hey, I'm not getting enough consistent fuel. If you've ever experienced intense hunger after fasting or found yourself overeating once your eating window opens, that's not a lack of willpower. That's biology. Your brain is trying to restore balance after a perceived famine. And instead of burning fat efficiently, your metabolism begins hoarding energy, slowing digestion, and preparing for the next time it might be deprived. The irony is that this is the exact opposite of what fasting was supposed to do. You start out trying to lose fat, but instead, you teach your body to cling to it more tightly. Many people notice that after a few weeks of strict fasting, their progress stalls, their energy dips, and they feel less focused or motivated. That's the metabolic slowdown, your body turning down the thermostat to save energy. This is where the concept of metabolic flexibility becomes so important. Metabolic flexibility is your body's ability to switch between burning carbohydrates and burning fat for fuel, depending on what's available. When your metabolism is flexible, you can go a few hours without food and still feel stable and clear-headed because your body smoothly shifts into fat burning mode. But when your metabolism is inflexible, often from years of blood sugar spikes, stress, and inconsistent eating, your body struggles to make that switch. Instead of burning fat, it panics and demands quick energy, usually in the form of sugar or caffeine. Think of it like a hybrid car. A healthy metabolism automatically changes fuel sources based on what's available. If the carbs run out, it burns fat. But when your system isn't trained for that flexibility, it's like having a hybrid car that refuses to use its electric battery. It just sputters, stalls, and drains fuel faster. The goal isn't to force your body into starvation, it's to teach it to burn fuel efficiently. When you combine smart meal timing with the right balance of protein and nutrients, you help your body feel safe enough to access stored fat without flipping the stress switch. That's when fat loss becomes sustainable, when your body isn't fighting you. Science shows that when people reduce stress hormones and improve metabolic flexibility, their fat burning rate increases dramatically in some studies by up to 66% compared to traditional fasting. That's because the body is no longer burning muscle for energy or hoarding fat out of fear. It's simply running efficiently like it was designed to. So if fasting has ever left you feeling drained, hungry, or frustrated, it's not because your body is broken. It's because your approach might have triggered survival mode. The key isn't to fast harder, it's to train smarter. To rebuild trust with your metabolism so that it knows energy will come consistently and it can safely burn what it already has stored. Once you restore that trust, fat loss stops being a struggle and starts feeling natural. Your body runs on two main types of fuel, glucose and fat, and the way it decides which one to burn depends largely on timing. Every time you eat, your body releases insulin to help move glucose from your food into your cells for energy. When insulin is high, your body prioritizes burning glucose because it's the quickest, most accessible source of fuel. But as insulin levels drop between meals, your body naturally switches gears. It starts accessing stored fat for energy. Here's the challenge. Most people never give their bodies enough time in that low insulin state to make the switch. When you snack frequently, sip sugary drinks, or eat late at night, your insulin never fully resets. It's like keeping your metabolism stuck in sugar burning mode. You might still be burning calories, but not efficiently because your fat stores stay locked away. Think of your body as a hybrid car with two fuel tanks. The first tank, your glucose supply, is small and easy to access. The second tank, your fat stores, is much larger, but your body only opens that line when the first tank is low. When you're constantly topping up the glucose tank by eating every few hours, the fat tank stays sealed. But if you give your body enough space between meals, without triggering stress, it learns to switch tanks smoothly, moving from glucose to fat burning mode effortlessly. This is where strategic meal timing makes a huge difference. It's not about starving yourself. It's about sensing your eating windows with your body's natural metabolic rhythm. When you eat meals that are balanced in protein and fiber and space them 4 to 5 hours apart, your insulin has time to come down between meals, signaling your body that it's safe to use stored energy. Over time, this trains your metabolism to stay flexible and efficient. For example, if you start your day with a protein-rich breakfast instead of skipping it, you stabilize blood sugar early on. That sets the tone for steady energy and fewer cravings throughout the day. Then, by avoiding constant grazing or late night eating, you give your body clear windows where insulin stays low and fat oxidation rises. The timing of your last meal can be especially powerful. Finishing dinner a few hours before bed allows your metabolism to spend the night in repair and fat burning mode instead of storage mode. You can picture this process like a dimmer switch. When you eat strategically, you're not flipping your metabolism on and off. You're gently adjusting the brightness. After a balanced meal, insulin rises just enough to fuel your body and then gradually fades, allowing fat burning to turn back on. You're teaching your metabolism to glide smoothly between states rather than jerking between extremes of fasting and overeating. One of the biggest misconceptions about fat loss is that it requires deprivation. But studies show that consistent, timed meals actually increase fat oxidation, even when total calories are the same. Why? Because steady insulin levels prevent the energy crashes and cravings that drive overeating later. When your blood sugar stays balanced, your brain feels calm, your energy is steady, and your hunger cues become more reliable. You stop fighting your body and start working with it. Another key piece is circadian rhythm, your internal clock. Your metabolism is naturally more active during daylight hours and slows down in the evening. Eating most of your calories earlier in the day supports this rhythm, making fat burning more efficient. It's like fueling your body when the engine is warm instead of when it's cooling down for the night. Research shows that people who shift more of their intake toward morning and midday, while keeping evenings lighter, experience better glucose control and faster fat loss, even without cutting calories drastically. When your eating schedule matches your biological rhythm, your metabolism feels supported, not stressed. You're essentially telling your body, energy is available, and I trust you to use it wisely. Over time, this builds metabolic resilience, the ability to stay in fat burning mode without feeling deprived. So instead of thinking of fat loss as a battle against hunger, think of it as a conversation with your metabolism. Every meal, every pause, every bit of timing sends a signal. When those signals are consistent and aligned with your body's natural rhythm, fat burning doesn't feel like effort, it feels like balance. One of the most powerful, and often overlooked, ways to keep your metabolism in fat burning mode is by focusing on protein balance. Protein isn't just about building muscle, it's the foundation of steady energy, hormone balance, and appetite control. When you include enough high-quality protein with each meal, it changes the way your body handles blood sugar, hunger, and even mood. Here's what happens on a biological level. When you eat a carb-heavy meal without enough protein or fat, your blood sugar rises quickly. Your body responds by releasing insulin to move that sugar into your cells. But if that spike is too sharp, insulin overcompensates, pulling blood sugar down too far, which leads to the familiar crash fatigue, irritability, and cravings for more sugar. Over time, these repeated spikes and drops make your metabolism unstable, driving overeating and fat storage. Protein slows that whole roller coaster down. When you combine protein with carbs, it reduces how quickly glucose enters your bloodstream. This keeps insulin levels steady and helps your body stay in balance longer between meals. You feel full sooner, stay satisfied longer, and experience fewer crashes that lead to emotional eating or afternoon slumps. But protein does something even more interesting. It boosts your metabolism through a process called S-thermogenesis. Simply put, your body burns more calories digesting and processing protein than it does fats or carbs. It's like giving your metabolism a small workout every time you eat. This metabolic cost of protein can increase total daily energy expenditure by up to 15% without you having to do anything extra. Over time, that adds up to faster fat loss and better energy balance. Protein also protects one of your most valuable fat-burning tools, your muscle tissue. When people diet or fast too aggressively, their bodies often start breaking down muscle for fuel. The problem is that muscle is metabolically active. It burns calories even when you're resting. Losing muscle slows metabolism, making it harder to maintain fat loss. By eating enough protein, especially during weight loss, you preserve lean mass, which keeps your metabolism high and your body composition improving. So what does this look like in everyday eating? A balanced plate might start with a palm-sized portion of lean protein, like eggs, chicken, fish, or tofu, paired with healthy fats such as avocado, olive oil, or nuts, and slow-digesting carbs like vegetables, quinoa, or sweet potatoes. This combination gives your body steady fuel while minimizing blood sugar swings. For breakfast, think of a veggie omelet with a sprinkle of cheese and a side of berries, or Greek yogurt topped with chia seeds and a few almonds. These meals are rich in protein and fiber, but low in fast-digesting sugars, so your energy stays consistent through the morning. For lunch, grilled salmon with mixed greens, olive oil, and a small serving of brown rice keeps you full without making you sluggish. Dinner could be lean turkey with roasted vegetables and a drizzle of tahini or avocado sauce, satisfying but balanced. What's powerful about these meals isn't just the nutrients. It's the hormonal stability they create. When blood sugar is steady, your cortisol levels drop, your appetite hormones like leptin and ghrelin normalize, and your brain stops sending panic signals about energy shortages. You feel calm, focused, and in control. That stability tells your body it's safe to burn fat. We have enough fuel. Another subtle but important benefit of consistent protein intake is its effect on neurotransmitters. Amino acids, the building blocks of protein, are used to make serotonin, dopamine, and other brain chemicals that regulate mood and motivation. When your protein intake is low, your brain can't produce these messengers efficiently, which can lead to low energy or emotional eating. By keeping your amino acids balanced throughout the day, you support both your mental and metabolic health. Over time, these small adjustments, adding more protein, spacing meals properly, and pairing nutrients strategically, create a metabolism that feels steady and reliable. You don't have to fight cravings, white-knuckle through hunger, or feel punished by your diet. Instead, you start noticing that your energy feels even, your mind feels clear, and fat loss happens naturally in the background. The truth is, balance doesn't mean restriction. It means consistency. When you treat every meal as an opportunity to stabilize your blood sugar and support your metabolism, your body learns that it can trust you. And when your body feels safe, it finally starts letting go of stored fat, not because you forced it to, but because you gave it the right conditions to do what it's designed to do. When it comes to burning fat, hormones run the show. They decide when you feel hungry, how much energy you burn, and even where your body stores fat. One of the most influential hormones in this process is cortisol, your built-in stress hormone. In short bursts, cortisol helps you stay alert and energized, but when it stays high for too long, it quietly disrupts nearly every part of your metabolism. When your body perceives stress, whether from emotional pressure, Lack of sleep, overwork, or even excessive fasting, cortisol rises. At first, it mobilizes glucose to give you quick energy, but over time, that constant cortisol elevation tells your body to conserve resources, slow metabolism, and store fat, particularly around the belly. Your body interprets the stress as a sign of scarcity, a potential famine, and starts prioritizing survival over fat burning. This is why long-term stress often feels like hitting a plateau. You might eat clean, exercise, or even fast, but if your stress hormones stay elevated, your metabolism won't respond. It's like pressing the gas and brake pedals at the same time. Cortisol blocks the signals from your thyroid and other fat-burning hormones, slowing down cellular energy production. The result is low energy, stubborn fat, and cravings for quick fuel like sugar or caffeine. Over-fasting can make this worse. While short fasting windows can help reset insulin, extended fasting, especially when combined with stress, can send the body deeper into alarm mode. The longer you go without food, the more cortisol your body releases to keep blood sugar stable. And if that stress isn't balanced with nourishment, your thyroid starts dialing down metabolism to conserve energy. That's why some people feel colder, more fatigued, or anxious after trying aggressive fasting protocols. It's not a lack of willpower, it's a hormonal feedback loop. The alternative isn't to abandon fasting completely, but to approach it from a place of balance and safety. Your metabolism thrives when it feels nourished and predictable. Gentle eating patterns, where you eat enough protein and nutrients during your meals and allow natural pauses between them, give your thyroid and adrenal glands the consistency they need to stay balanced. When these systems feel supported, they can release hormones like leptin and adiponectin, which tell your body it's safe to burn fat. Leptin acts like your brain's energy gauge, letting it know how much fuel is available. When you eat enough and manage stress, leptin signals that you're safe, so your body feels comfortable using stored energy. Adiponectin, another key hormone, improves your cell's ability to use fat for fuel and increases insulin sensitivity. But when cortisol stays high for too long, both leptin and adiponectin levels drop, which makes fat loss feel impossible no matter how hard you try. Supporting these hormones doesn't require anything extreme. It starts with small, consistent habits that tell your body you're safe. One of the simplest tools is a sazi, slow breathing. Taking a few deep, intentional breaths before eating or during moments of tension activates your parasympathetic nervous system. The rest and digest mode. This single act lowers cortisol and improves digestion, meaning you actually absorb more nutrients from your food. Another gentle strategy is mindful eating. When you slow down, taste your food, and pay attention to how it makes you feel, you shift your body out of stress mode and into nourishment mode. This allows insulin, leptin, and thyroid hormones to work together harmoniously, supporting steady fat burning throughout the day. Sleep also plays a massive role in regulating these hormones. Even one night of poor sleep can raise cortisol and disrupt appetite signals, making you hungrier the next day and less able to regulate blood sugar. Building a consistent sleep routine and avoiding eating too close to bedtime helps your body repair and reset its hormonal balance overnight. Movement can help too, but not all exercise is created equal. High-intensity workouts every day without recovery can actually raise cortisol further. Gentle activities like walking, yoga, or stretching can burn fat while calming your stress system at the same time. It's not about pushing harder, it's about helping your body feel balanced enough to release stored energy. The real key is this: fat burning happens when your body feels safe, not when it feels deprived. When cortisol is low, your metabolism can trust that energy will keep coming, so it freely uses fat as fuel. That's why small daily rituals, slow breathing, balanced meals, mindful pauses, can be just as powerful as any diet strategy. They signal safety, and safety is the foundation of metabolic health. When you nourish your body instead of punishing it, your hormones start to cooperate. Your metabolism begins to hum instead of fight, and fat loss stops being a battle against stress. It becomes the natural side effect of balance. The real secret to burning fat faster isn't fasting longer. It's teaching your body how to transition smoothly between fuel sources. Most people think metabolism is about willpower or strict schedules, but it's really about communication. Your body needs to know that energy will always be available, even when food isn't. When your metabolism trusts that, it becomes flexible, able to shift between burning glucose and fat effortlessly. Metabolic flexibility is like training a muscle. The more you practice switching between fuel sources, the easier it becomes. When your metabolism is flexible, you can go hours without eating and still feel steady, alert, and calm because your body simply taps into its fat stores for energy. But if your metabolism is rigid, from years of blood sugar swings or chronic stress, even short gaps between meals can trigger fatigue or cravings. The goal isn't to starve yourself into fat burning, it's to train your metabolism to adapt. One of the simplest ways to do this is by alternating meal timing in small, sustainable ways. For example, start by slightly extending the time between dinner and breakfast, maybe by 30 to 60 minutes, just enough for your body to spend a bit more time in fat burning mode overnight. The next day, eat balanced meals on a consistent schedule so your metabolism doesn't perceive scarcity. This gentle variation, not extreme fasting, is what teaches flexibility. Movement plays a key role too. Light activity, especially in the morning before breakfast, signals your body to use stored fat as fuel. You don't need high-intensity workouts for this to work. Even a 20-minute walk, some stretching, or gentle strength training tells your metabolism we're using energy and it's safe to burn fat. Over time, these consistent cues make your body more resilient, meaning it won't panic when energy intake fluctuates. Consistent high protein intake is another cornerstone of metabolic flexibility. By eating enough protein throughout the day, rather than loading it all at once, you keep blood sugar stable and muscle tissue protected. This ensures your metabolism stays active even as your body learns to rely more on fat. Think of protein as your safety anchor. It stabilizes you while you experiment with new eating rhythms. Short recovery fasts can also be helpful when used wisely. Instead of long, punishing fasts, think of short windows, 12 to 14 hours overnight, that give your body a break from digestion but not from nourishment. During the day, focus on nutrient-rich meals that make your body feel supported. When your metabolism senses regularity and recovery, it adapts faster and burns fuel more efficiently. These small steps, morning movement, balanced meals, consistent protein, and recovery windows might not sound extreme, but they create a powerful pattern. They teach your body to rely less on sugar and more on stored fat without ever triggering the stress response. Over time, you'll notice something interesting. You can skip a meal without crashing, you feel clear-headed instead of foggy, and you no longer crave constant snacks. That's your metabolism becoming flexible. Metabolic flexibility is resilience. It's what allows you to handle both feast and fast, movement and rest, without your energy dropping or your mood swinging. It's not a rigid protocol, it's a dynamic system responding to how you live. When your body becomes metabolically resilient, fat loss happens naturally, but so does emotional stability. You feel grounded, balanced, and confident in your ability to fuel yourself wisely. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't require perfection. You don't have to time every bite or track every hour. You just need consistency, enough steady patterns that your metabolism learns safety and trust. When that happens, your body doesn't cling to fat out of fear. It uses it freely because it knows more fuel is always on the way. So instead of fasting harder, learn to fast smarter. Teach your metabolism how to move gracefully between energy sources through nourishment, movement, and rest. When you do, you stop forcing fat loss and start experiencing it naturally as a reflection of a healthy, adaptable body. At this point, it becomes clear that this isn't another diet. It's a way of living that works with your body instead of against it. The beauty of this eating pattern is that it's sustainable. You're not trapped in cycles of restriction and rebellion. You're teaching your body to feel safe, balanced, and fueled. That's the foundation for lasting fat loss, steady energy, and real freedom around food. When your metabolism is balanced, you start noticing quiet but powerful shifts. You wake up with energy that lasts all day, not dependent on caffeine or constant snacks. You feel calm between meals because your blood sugar isn't spiking and crashing. Your cravings fade because your body is finally getting what it needs: consistent protein, stable energy, and gentle rhythms of rest and activity. This lifestyle also changes how you think about food. Instead of chasing the next diet trend or worrying about rules, you start listening to your body. You recognize true hunger versus emotional hunger. You eat slowly enough to feel satisfied and stop when you've had enough. These are the habits that regulate hormones naturally. They keep leptin and insulin communicating clearly, and they keep cortisol low. Living this way also allows room for joy. You don't have to fear carbohydrates or skip social meals. Because your metabolism is flexible, you can enjoy a variety of foods without guilt or weight fluctuations. When your body is efficient at burning fat, occasional indulgences don't derail progress. They simply become part of a balanced rhythm. Rest is a huge part of this lifestyle too. True fat burning doesn't happen when you're stressed and overworked. It happens when you're calm. Sleep downtime and relaxation aren't luxuries, they're essential metabolic tools. Your body uses these moments to repair cells, balance hormones, and build resilience. When you combine calmness with consistency, your metabolism stays switched on even when you're not consciously thinking about it. Mindful eating ties it all together. Taking a few breaths before you eat, slowing down, and noticing your food isn't just about gratitude, it's neuroscience. When you eat calmly, your parasympathetic nervous system activates, improving digestion and nutrient absorption. This simple awareness helps your body process food more efficiently and keeps you connected to your natural hunger and fullness cues. The long-term benefits of this way of living go beyond weight. You start to feel mentally clear, emotionally grounded, and physically capable. Your body stops feeling like an obstacle and starts feeling like a partner. You trust it, and it trusts you. That trust allows you to live in balance, knowing that your metabolism can handle the ups and downs of life without panic or burnout. Over time, the results become effortless, stable energy, improved focus, glowing skin, and a body composition that feels natural for you. No rebound dieting, no deprivation, no stress cycles. Just a steady rhythm of nourishment and rest. A lifestyle that honors both your biology and your humanity. You don't have to fast harder, suffer longer, or live in constant restriction. You can outsmart fasting by living in sync with your body's natural design, feeding it with balance, moving with intention, and resting with trust. That's how you become a natural, steady fat burner. And maybe most importantly, you get to enjoy real food, real moments, and real life, while your body quietly takes care of the rest.